aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
In a world where power shakes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
VOP TV now is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories Topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Mama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the
Welcome to the Media News on Voice of the People Television. I am Solomon Offem. First, our top stories. APC welcomes newly elected council chairman. APC affirms Wike's right to political choice. European tech giant loses $6.2 million arbitration to Nigeria. 10 die in latest Plateau community attacks. ECOWAS naval chiefs unite against Gulf of Guinea threat. NCDC cites transport costs and data gaps in Lassa fever response. On the business news, IXPN deploys a new infrastructure to speed up web access. In sport, Wolves back Tolu Arokodare after racist abuse. And in the world of entertainment, Nigerian stars win big at 2026 BAFTAs. We'll bring you details in just a moment. Once again, welcome to the Media News on Voice of the People Television. I'll bring you details of these and more. Beginning with the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Nentawe Yelwatda, alongside the chairman of the party's National Campaign Council and governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, have received the newly elected chairman of the Federal Capital Territory Area Councils. Candidate of the ruling party won 5 of the 6 councils, while the People's Democratic Party PDP secured 1. The African Democratic Congress ADC, which houses a coalition of opposition leaders, failed to win any seat. In a post on its official X handle, the APC chair said the chairmen were received by party leaders, including members of the National Working Committee. In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress APC has defended Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike, saying the former Rivers State governor has the constitutional right to support any candidate, regardless of the party. The APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka made the remarks in a TV interview amid controversy over Wike's backing of APC candidates in the February 21 FCT area council elections, where the party won 5 of 6 councils. 2 People's Democratic Party chairmanship candidates, Julius Adamu Ibwari and Zadna Dantani in Abuja Municipal, pulled out and publicly endorsed their APC rivals after Wike's intervention. The PDP condemned the move as shameful and anti-democratic, calling it a forced consensus. Moka said Wike was simply exercising his constitutional right, not orchestrating a political strategy for the APC. President Bola Tinubu also praised Wike's role in securing the APC's victories in both the FCT elections and recent Rivers State by-elections. In another development, Nigeria has won a $6.2 million arbitration case against the European Dynamics UK Limited, an international technology contractor, over a dispute involving the Bureau of Public Procurement. The development was disclosed in a statement by Kamaruddin Ogundele, Senior Assistant on Communication and Publicity to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. According to the Justice Ministry, the dispute arose from a national e-procurement project handled by the BPP. The sole arbitrator, Fumi Robert, dismissed the contractor's claims in their entirety when the tribunal sat at the International Center for Arbitration and Mediation in Abuja. The ruling is final and not subject to appeal. The decision shields Nigeria from potential liabilities estimated at more than $6.2 million in claimed payments and damages. On a sad note, fresh violence hit a Region local government area in Plateau State on Sunday night as armed bandits launched coordinated attacks on Joel community and Duruwa Babuje, killing at least 10 people. Solomon Daliop, president of the Barom Youth Molders Association, told reporters in Jos that 9 people were killed in Duruwa Babuje, while 1 person died in Joel. They said the attackers on Joel came on motorcycles from the Manga axis despite early warnings to security agencies. Plateau State security outfit Operation Rainbow was on the ground and managed to repel them, limiting casualties. In Duruwa Babuje, the assailants reportedly came from the Jongwere area where they had been camping. The military responded quickly, preventing further deaths. Rayom remains one of Plateau State's most volatile areas, with farming communities repeatedly hit by night raids, ambushes, and displacement in recent months. Still on insecurity, Governor Mohammed Bago of Niger State has expressed concern over the displacement of communities due to ongoing security challenges, dedicating his 52nd birthday to prayers for the affected residents. Addressing journalists during a prayer session to mark his birthday, the governor said there is no better time to seek God's mercy and intervention. He thanked the organizers of the prayer session, the permanent secretary, Government House Mina Awa Wali, as well as cabinet members and others supporting the administration. In attendance were the governor's wife, Fatima Bago, Deputy Governor Yakubu Garba, members of the State Executive Council, and other top government officials. This report says that the Kebbi Development Forum has sympathized with victims of the recent Lakurawa attack in 8 communities in Arewa local government area, where 35 people were reportedly killed and several cattle rustled, calling for a more decentralized security approach. In a statement signed by Saidu Abubakar Ilu, chairman of the KDF Executive Council, the forum described the attack as barbaric and cowardly. It extended condolences to the Kebbi State government, the Argungu Emirate Council, and the affected families, calling the incident a deeply unfortunate development. The forum also expressed sympathy to victims of similar bandit attacks in Shanga, in Gaski, and the Yauri local government area. Moving on, chiefs of naval staff from ECOWAS member states have met in Accra, Ghana to strengthen the combined maritime task force amid rising threat in the Gulf of Guinea. The development was disclosed in a statement by the acting director of information of the Nigerian Navy, Captain Abiodun Folorunso. According to Folorunso, the 5th meeting of the ECOWAS subcommittee of chiefs of naval staff focused on growing maritime security, including terrorism, drug trafficking, and illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. The naval chief stressed the need for deeper regional cooperation. Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, led the discussions. Now to health matters, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says high specimen transport costs, reporting gaps and link data systems are showing Lassa fever detection in some states. NCDC Director General Dr. Jude Idris told newsmen in Abuja that moving samples from remote communities to state labs is expensive and logistically challenging. He noted that while NCDC coordinates nationally through its incident management system, outbreak control depends on state-level execution. Dr. Idris also raised concerns over parallel reporting, saying some teaching hospitals confirm cases without notifying state authorities. Differences in data collection across institutions can lead to discrepancies between federal and state figures. Limited resources and connectivity challenges are the facility level, further hinder real-time reporting. Still on the news, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has suspended the enforcement of its drivers and riders permits levy pending further talks with stakeholders. The mandate secretary, Chinedum Elechi, directed the suspension in a letter to First Capital Cargo Limited, the company responsible for collecting the levy. The move follows a meeting with dispatch rider leaders who had on February 19 protested that the FCT Secretariat over what they called multiple taxation. Riders told the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike they already pay a 13,000 naira annual levy to Abuja Municipal, Wari, and Gwagwalada councils, in addition to the newly introduced 25,000 naira permit levy. Joining us in the studio to analyze the media news is Darlington Agwomo. Agwomo is a lawyer, a legal practitioner, and a political analyst. And virtually we'll have Ismail Oladare. Oladare is a member of Take It Back movement. Barrister Agwomo, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Solomon. How are you?
Let's start with you in the studio, where what's your take in the FCT Council election that was just concluded in Abuja, where obviously APC won 5 of the 6 council, PDP won 1, and ADC that people have termed or forced to reckon with as far as opposition is concerned, won no seat at all. What's your overall overview of that election?
My take is that there was not an election in Abuja last Saturday. What you have is a selection that had been foretold. What happened was not an election at all, because all the shenanigans that played out was open to everybody. In fact, APC is no longer afraid of the people or afraid of our laws. They violate it brazenly in our face. If not, why should the wicked be moving from one polling unit to the other in an election day, shaking hands with police, shaking hands with INEC officials? Was that an election? It wasn't. And who was that person who was telling, do your own, we do the rest? What rest does he want to do? That voice was heard by everybody when he was giving order. Do your own, we are going to do the rest. Sorry. So you add everything that happened, nobody can be proud of where we are in democracy. Nobody. Except you want to deceive yourself. We are not making progress. That is just the simple truth. No thanks to APC. We are gone back 50 years behind. Ordinary election, we cannot get it right. By the way, what is wrong if APC carry out a free and fair election? What is wrong?
I mean, isn't that expecting too much from them, knowing their antecedents?
I mean, you can see. So who will not do it? The next party will come and will start giving an excuse and all that. Solomon, we are not making progress. Serious. It's very annoying. We are not making progress. The whole world is laughing at us.
Okay, Mr. Oladare, I don't know if you're with us. Let's have your general overview, your take on the election.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think the election on Saturday is also nothing different from what we've been seeing in our election in recent years. from Abuja to Rivers to Kano, and it's also a testifier to what's to come in 2027 general election. Because our home party, the African Action Congress, also participated in this election, and we have our representative across the local polling unit. And we were getting reports, real-time reports as it were happening. And these reports were the reason why, after the election on Sunday, we put out a statement from the official party handle that this election was a sham election. This election does not represent any iota of democracy at all. This is not the kind of democracy we want in this country. And, the election is a testifier to that. Because from Bai to Amak, there were massive vote buying, both by PDP and APC. Some of them were even caught on camera, right? Buying votes at the polling unit. So they don't even do it discreetly again. They don't do it in their rooms again. They bring it out to our faces because they know that there will be no consequences for this aberration of democracy. And the earlier the best for Nigerian people to rise up and resist these affronts on our democracy.
Let me stay with you, Mr. Oladare. This is a preposterous thing to say on national television, but I suppose the times we're in now, there is really nothing officially out of order. We know what election in Nigeria is all about, and after the outrage that has happened as far as the electronic transmission of real-time results is now, we have history of rigging in Nigeria. Isn't it time the opposition starts beginning to think this is definitely not a level playing field? Isn't it time for the opposition parties to now say, well, if the APC or if the ruling party is to rig, why can't we out-rig them?
Yeah, you see, say about opposition, because as far as we are concerned, we believe that the African Action Congress, AAC, is the only opposition as we have it today. Because if you talk about opposition, what are they opposing, right? Because opposition is not just you are in party A, I am in party B. That doesn't make you an opposition. You have to have opposing ideas, opposing methods, and opposing actions, right? And this is what sets AAC apart, and this is why we are the only opposition, because we have opposing ideas, we have opposing policies, we have opposing actions. But if you look at other so-called opposition in other party, they do the same thing the ruling party is doing. They have the same ideology, they have the same policy statement, they have the same actions because they also rig elections. So this is why we don't see them as opposition, just because they are in different parties, right? And for out-rigging the ruling party, like I said, at that election, PDP were rigging, APC were rigging. So at the end of the day, it was also the question of who can rig the most. And of course, the APC out-rig them, right? So they are doing it. They are doing the rig for rig. They are doing it. But they can't out-rig the ruling party because they have the machinization of the states. They have the high neck in their pockets. So you can't out-rig them. It's if not impossible, it's very, very difficult for you to do that. So this is why we must come with alternative ideas, alternative method to chase them out. And this is why we are saying that the only way out is a popular revolt. The people must revolt against these people in power by organizing themselves. And this is what we are doing. And we are calling on the Nigerian people to join in this organizing. We must organize ourselves. We must out-organize them, not out-rig them.
Okay.
That's our position.
Barrister Duncan, do you agree with Oladare that there was massive rigging, just that APC out-rigged the PDP and maybe ADC.
Yes. Yes, there was massive rigging. It was people saw it.
Across all political parties.
People caught it on camera. You know, this APC, they are very good at playing pranks. The people you saw as the PDP persons may actually be APC persons in the guise of PDP. Okay. Because I don't see any other opposition who have the money to buy votes. I don't see any other opposition member.
I mean, PDP is still a huge party, despite their disarray at the moment. We still have some PDP governors, we still have some PDP politicians that have the money to do a massive rigging.
How many of them? 5 of them. What do they have to offer? I mean, 6 of them. The question is, this election, is it a litmus test for 2027? Will Nigerians beat their chest and say, yes, there was a free and fair election? Look, if an election is free and fair, everybody will see it. You don't need to argue. The opposition will not be going to court now because of what happened. What happened? They brought TPEX into the matter. We saw some results being TPEX. Did you not hear it? Or did you not see it? So what was that for? If you are counting and made a mistake, you recount. You recount it. I didn't see any role, what's it called? TPEX has to do in that. It's very crude. Very, very crude. And when they gave us this electronic transmission result and manual, I knew that something it will give. They will resort to manual. And that is where you saw that TPEX.
Now, let's talk about ADC. ADC, since after the coalition, and of course, the 2 biggest things in the party that drew some hope for some Nigerians that finally APC will be taken out of power, which is obviously Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. But so far, it doesn't look like the coalition in ADC is having any headway as far as other governorship and council and chairmanship elections or election at the grassroots is concerned. How do you make a splash at the national level? How do you win the presidency if you don't have supporters in power on the grassroots?
It will be very difficult Solomon, to be sincere with you, it will be very difficult. This opposition, they are not playing the real opposition, seriously. What happened in that election was an eye-opener. It's like they are all running their own race. No meeting points, no coordination. No coordination. And so what do you expect? The main party will not take advantage. Take advantage of the disarray in the opposition. That's just the truth. So what we saw was not an election. The facts are there.
Let me come back to you, Mr. Ladare. The story we have here to talk about the blowback that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike is taking for backing the APC candidates in the council election. We know in a normal situation, the FCT Minister is supposed to be neutral, is supposed to be apolitical. But we know that is not going to happen because Nyesom Wike has been alleged to be an APC mole in the PDP, which means is a PDP member just on paper, but in reality, he's an APC member. Do you think that was a lot to ask from Nyesom Wike, which, if you think about it, we know that he would definitely not want to go against his principal, who is the president of Nigeria and, of course, an APC member? Can you hear me, Mr. Ladare? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead, talk to us.
You see, just after the election, Wike came out to say that the result of the election is a testament to the faith the people have in the Tinubu-led administration, right? So it is not even in disguise anymore that Wike is working for the APC, right? And a lot of people have also said that the local government that PDP won was also a negotiation, just so that people still think that Wike has some loyalty to the PDP, right? So it is getting clearer day by day that it is all a game, and Tinubu is using Wike for whatever they've promised him. And this is not democracy anymore, right? When you can use a strong member of a so-called opposition party to decimate that opposition party, that's no longer democracy, so to speak. And it is quite sad that this is where we found ourselves in this country today. It's very, very sad.
This Saturday. Barrister Darlington, in another development, Nigeria won a $6.2 million arbitration case against European Dynamics UK Limited, an international technology contractor, over a dispute involving the Bureau of Public Procurement. What's your take on that situation?
The opposition need to go back to the drawing board if they want to make an impact in 2027.
Now, we're talking about Bureau of Public Procurement.
Sorry?
We're talking about the Bureau of Public Procurement, where Nigeria has won a $6.2 million arbitration case against European Dynamics UK Limited. Of course, it's an international technology contractor over a dispute involving the Bureau of Public Procurement.
Okay, that's a good one. That is a good one. I remember the PNID case too. They won that case. So if they can be making impact in such areas of legal, battle, why not? It shows that yes. But what happened if they win the case and bring the money? What happened with the money? That is where my problem is. They will go and win cases involving monetary reward and all that. So what happened with the money? For example, the one that Abacha was returning to us from the grave, most of them ended up with Malami, and now we are hearing the stories. So if they win the case, let them win the money too, because that is where the problem is.
Okay, back to you, Mr. Ladara. We're going to insecurity story where obviously the bandits, the mayhem as far as insecurity is concerned still goes on. And the latest one is in violence in Rion local government area of Plateau State. Last night, as armed bandits launched coordinated attacks in a community, killing at least 10 people. It looks like the Americans' boots on ground is not exactly hitting any frayed nerves as we would have expected, after the initial strike on Christmas Day, of course, with the knowledge that some American soldiers, 100 of them, if the story we get is anything to go by, are on ground to make sure they leave this insecurity in the board. Clearly, this is not working with the stories of insecurity and the killings we keep seeing and hearing of on a daily basis. What's your take?
Sorry, I think I lost you a moment.
Okay, we're talking about insecurity where the latest wave of killing coming in Plateau State left at least 10 people dead. One would have expected that with Americans on ground, with American soldiers in Nigeria, that should be able to deter these insurgents from continuing with their mayhem. But it looks like it is not giving that effect when you consider the initial attack that happened in Sokoto on 25th of December last year. With the killings keep going on, and the stories we're hearing of kidnapping and killing and cattle rustling, it looks like the effect the American soldiers in ground are supposed to have is not having it.
Yeah, of course. We said this right from time. Like, if you expect that America is coming to save Nigeria, you are as delusional as it gets, right? And one can also say that since the American supposed intervention on paper, the terrorism, the kidnapping, everything has even increased, almost increased, right? So this is what we tell Nigerian people. It is not American. Nobody is coming to save you unless you save yourself. Tinubu is not going to save you unless you save yourself, right? So we should stop looking out there for Messiah, stop looking for people, God on earth that is coming to rescue us from what we've put ourselves, the condition that we've put ourselves into. What we need to do is to organize ourselves and, deliver ourselves from this misery.
We keep hearing that statement, we should save ourselves, we should not be expecting a Messiah. How are Nigerians supposed to save themselves? That if the story we hear is anything to go by, that the people back in insurgency in Nigeria are highly placed individuals with all the power financially and their status is concerned. How are Nigerians supposed to save themselves?
Yeah, what we must do is to organize ourselves. Now we know the problem. We know that, the foreign imperialists are not our savior. And we know that our current rulers, our current leaders, they don't have that political will to stop insecurity in this country. So what we must do is to organize ourselves, boot them out of office, elect leaders who are pro-people, who have the interest of the people at heart, who will not, commercialize security, who will not make insecurity a profitable enterprise. And it is only then that we can start to see improvements in our lives and in the security architecture of our country. So the Nigerian people must organize themselves and, voting, elect pro-people candidates. Emphasis on pro-people. Yeah.
Okay. Barrister Gomo, your take on that?
My take is that Nigerian people, they can be saved by America if the government can give them the free hand to operate. It's a question of agreement. They're already here. Is that not true? They are here. You said they are not going to get involved in the battlefield. But why are they here? What are they doing here? If you give them the free hand, they can go after these guys. That's the truth. They can go after them. After all, they're already here. They have fought terrorists over the years, from Al-Qaeda to these other ones, that have been disturbing them. In fact, they carry the war to your own doorsteps. America don't wait for you to bring terrorism to their country. They take it to your own country. That's what they do. So now that they are here, let them use the experience and do what they need to do. If only this government will allow them. That's just the truth. If only government can allow them, they can go to the heart of these guys and hit them hard. But government, for whatever reason, will not give them that free hand to operate. That's why they say they're here as a military advisors.
Okay.
They don't want them to be fully engaged in this thing because they know what will happen.
Okay.
And some people are looking at the election in 2027.
Okay. Let me stay with you, Barrister Darlington. From internal insecurity, let's go to maritime insecurity, where naval chief from ECOWAS member states met in Accra, Ghana, to strengthen the combined maritime task force and rising threat in the Gulf of Guinea. We've been hearing about this Gulf of Guinea threat for a while now. Do you think with chiefs of naval staff from ECOWAS coming together, you think that will reduce this maritime insecurity?
I think so, because it's a collaborative effort. And what you have mainly at the Gulf of Guinea are pirates. They are pirates who are equally looking for what to eat. And the last time I checked, they said that place is international waters. And so all manner of players are having a field day there. So if these ECOWAS maritime chiefs can collaborate, maybe yes, something good will come out of it. Something good will come out of it because other countries are now interested. And I don't think all of them can come together to promote piracy. No, they are coming together to wipe them out, to keep our seashores safe. That's what I think.
Okay, Mr. Ladarado, over to you. You think that will happen? We've had this Gulf of Guinea threat for a while, and there have been several measures taken in the past to curb these pirates that's been destabilizing this Gulf for a while. And we've heard the news over and over again. What difference will these meetings have, if any? Hello, Mr. Ladara, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. So I missed the question. Can you come again, please?
Okay, we are talking about Gulf of Guinea, where Chief of Naval Staff from ECOWAS countries are having a meeting in Accra, Ghana, to talk about this persistent threat of bandits in the Gulf of Guinea. And I was asking rather, that over the years we've had recurring meetings from so several quarters over the years to make sure they nip these bandits in the bud as far as Gulf of Guinea is concerned, but it has yielded little or no result at all. How sure are we that this particular meeting will yield any result? Okay, it looks like.
I mean, I remember the Bakassi.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you now. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
So I remember the Bakassi issue as well with Cameroon. But you know what happened most of the time with issues like this is the fact that there is no trust in our within by the people in our government. So most people don't actually foresee anything coming out of these meetings, and what have you. But then we can only hope that they can get at least one thing right after all, right? So hoping something good will come out of that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ladare. It was a pleasure talking to you. Okay, that was Ismail Oladare, is a member of Take It Back movement, and of course, Barrister Darlington Ogomo. Thank you very much for your time too.
My pleasure.
You're still on to Voice of the People Television and you're watching the midday news. Still to come, TCN restores Shiroro Mando Transition Line 2. Bring you details of these and more when we come back from our break. Stay tuned. It's good to know you're still with us. This is a midday news on VOP TV. The transmission company of Nigeria says it has restored the 330 kV Shiroro Mando transmission line 2 after repair works were completed. TCN's General Manager Public Affairs Ndidimba said engineers completed extensive technical interventions to ensure the line's reliability and safety. She noted that the restoration of both lines is a major milestone in strengthening the transmission network and delivering stable electricity across the system. Mba thanked customers and stakeholders for their patience during the outage and reaffirmed TCN's commitment to building a resilient national grid. In another development, the Lagos Waste Management Authority has called on residents, traders, and transport operators along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway to dispose of waste only through authorized private sector participant operators. The Lagos State government announced the directive today through its official social media platforms. Loma Managing Director Muyiwa Badegeshin said the move is part of a wider compliance and environmental sustainability drive. He added that the bulk waste evacuation has begun at Alaba Rago with heavy-duty carriers, loaders and support teams clearing illegal dump sites. Cleanup and monitoring operations also cover Orile, Donye, Alaba Rago and Agric Barracks, Yanoba and Agbara. In the south parts of the country, the Cross River State government has ordered the suspension of all scrap-related activities across the state, citing a rise in vandalism and other crimes. The announcement was made today in Calabar by the State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Ededem Ani. The government expressed concern over attacks on public utilities, roads, and community facilities, which have caused service disruptions, economic losses, safety risks. Investigations linked these destructive acts to scrap dealers, scavengers, and their agents operating in the state. The suspension covers all scrap activities, including trading, scavenging, and transportation and related operations. We'll go for another break. When we return, business and sports stories will be up next. And out of business news, the Internal Exchange Point of Nigeria, IXPN, has deployed new infrastructure aimed at making websites load faster and boosting the country's resilience to cyber disruptions. IXPN's CEO, Mohammed Rodman, disclosed the initiative during the 2026 Annual Members Engagement Forum in Lagos. Rodman explained that the upgrade allows internet service providers to restore website addresses locally rather than relying on servers overseas. A key part of the project involved a partnership with the Canadian Internet Registration Authority, which supplies hardware for an authoritative domain name system server installed within IXPN's network. The server translates website names into the numerical addresses computers use to locate sites online. IXPN is Nigeria's largest internet exchange point, a non-profit membership-based organization that serves as a central hub connecting ISPs, content networks, enterprises, and digital platforms. Still talking business, Bitcoin fell sharply in early Asian trading today as renewed uncertainty over U.S. tariff policy unsettled global markets and weighed on other major cryptocurrencies. According to Bloomberg, the world's largest digital asset dropped as much as 4.8% to about $64,300, its lowest level since February 6. Either the second largest cryptocurrency fell even further, sliding 5.2%, and broad market sell-offs. Bitcoin had already been losing momentum this month, wiping out gains made after President Donald Trump's re-election victory in November 2024. And after sports news, a Super Eagles striker Tolu Dare has received the full support of his club Wolves after being subjected to racial abuse online. The abuse followed Wolves' 1-0 defeat to Crystal Palace, where Dare missed a first-half penalty. The Nigerian forward shared screenshots of the racist messages he received on social media. In a statement, Wolves condemned the abuse, saying there is no place for such behavior in society. Dare is the third player of African descent to be racially abused in the Premier League this weekend. Burnley midfielder Hannibal Mejbri and Chelsea defender Wesley Fofana were also targeted on Instagram after Chelsea's 1-1 draw with Burnley at Stamford Bridge. Still in sports, Tottenham Hotspur manager Igor Tudor has admitted his team has obvious problems that everyone can see. There had been renewed optimism ahead of the North London derby, with the Croatian appointed to replace Thomas Frank until May. But by full time, the stadium was half empty as Spurs suffered another defeat, and a heavy one at that, to their rivals Arsenal. The match ended 4-1 in Arsenal's favour. After the game, Tudor was candid in his assessment, acknowledging the scale of the team's struggle. From sports, we'll go over to our entertainment news, where major Nigerian talents and major recognition in London at the 2026 BAFTA Film Awards. Actress Wumi Mosaku won Best Supporting Actress for a role in Sinners, marking another milestone in a rising international career. My Father's Shadow, created by Nigerian brothers Akinola Davis and Wale Davis, won Outstanding Debut by a British writer, director, a producer. Beyond the Nigerian successes, one battle after another dominated the night, with 6 awards, including Best Film and Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson. Sinners also picked up awards for original screenplay and original score, bringing its total wins to 3. Still in the world of entertainment, popular Nigerian musician Peter Okoye has told a Lagos High Court in Ikeja that he is a co-signatory on the Echo Bank account of Northside Entertainment Limited. The clarification came during the resumed trial of his elder brother, Jude Okoye, who is being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over alleged mismanagement of company funds. Under cross-examination by defense counsel Clement Owumuwo, bank mandate documents were presented showing that Peter and his twin brother were listed as account signatories. Peter explained that although Jude initially operated the account alone, the arrangement later changed. He also told the court that the P-Square music catalog belongs to him and his twin brother, consisting of songs released by the group over the years. Peter added that Jude was not an original member of P-Square, but became involved as manager around 2004-2006, acknowledging there was no written contract formalizing the appointment. And that's a wrap on the media news. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. APC welcomes newly elected council chairman. APC affirms Wike's right to political choice. European tech giant loses $6.2 million arbitration to Nigeria. On insecurity, 10 die in latest Plateau community attacks. ECOWAS and naval chiefs unite against Gulf of Guinea threat. And health, NCDC cites transport cost and data gaps in Lassa fever response. On our business news, IXPN deploys new infrastructure to speed up web access. In sports, Wolves back to Lu Arokodare after racist abuse. And in the world of entertainment, Nigerian stars win big at 2026 BAFTAs. And that's the news. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness the news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness report, event coverage request, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom via email at news@vop.ng. I am Solomon Ofem. Good afternoon and thank you for watching.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
the extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.